What happens when two powerhouse voices of the music world collide on live television and one finally snaps? Today, we're diving into the explosive moment Adam Lambert walked off the Kelly Clarkson show, leaving the studio stunned and the internet buzzing. It began like any other lighthearted interview. Kelly Clarkson, warm and professional as always, greeted her audience with that trademark smile before introducing her guest. The applause was deafening when Adam Lambert strode out, waving with the effortless confidence fans know so well. At first, it seemed like a typical segment: banter, laughter, and admiration. But within minutes, the atmosphere would shift, and what started as casual talk would spiral into one of the most uncomfortable daytime TV moments in recent memory. Kelly kicked things off with genuine enthusiasm. "Adam, it's so great to have you here. I've followed your journey since American Idol, and seeing you step into Queen has been absolutely incredible." Adam leaned back in his chair, relaxed, flashing a grateful smile. "Thanks, Kelly. It's been a wild ride, that's for sure." Then came the turn. Kelly, still cheerful, leaned in. "There's been a lot of talk lately about authenticity in musicest, even with talent shows and manufactured pop stars. Since you came from reality TV yourself, what's your take on artists who maybe don't write their own music or who lean heavily on image?" The air grew heavier. Adam paused, his smile thinning. "That's a pretty loaded question," he said evenly. "Authenticity is subjective. Just because someone comes from a reality show doesn't make them less real than an artist discovered in a coffee shop." Kelly nodded, but pressed further. "Right, but don't you think there's a difference between someone shaped by producers and someone who develops their sound more organically?" The edge in Adam's voice was unmistakable. "Are you suggesting my success isn't organic? I've been performing since high school. American Idol was just a platform, it wasn't my beginning." Kelly quickly raised her hands. "Oh no, I wasn't talking about you specifically. I meant in general," but Adam wasn't letting it slide. "Were you though? Because it sounds like you're implying that artists like me, who got recognition through TV, are somehow less legitimate than others." The crowd began to fidget. The cheerful energy had drained away, replaced by tense silence. Kelly forced a laugh, trying to smooth things over, but it rang hollow. "Adam, I think you're reading too much into this. I just want your perspective." Adam leaned forward. Now, his voice sharp. "My perspective. I've worked my butt off for everything I've achieved. No one manufactured my talent or my image. I've been authentic since day one, whether people admit it or not." Kelly's expression tightened. "But you have to admit, the industry has changed. When I won American Idol, it wasn't so much about image or social media presence. That hit a nerve." Adam's eyes narrowed. "So now you're saying my career is built on image and social media?" "Kelly, I don't know what you're getting at, but it's starting to sound insulting." The audience froze. Even the band glanced nervously toward the producers, who were shifting uneasily behind the cameras. Kelly tried again. "Adam, I'm not insulting you. I just want to have an honest conversation about music today." Adam laughed bitterly. "Honest? You brought me here to talk about my work, my tour, my music, and instead, you've spent the last few minutes questioning whether I even deserve my success. That's not what I was doing." Kelly shot back, her voice rising. "Isn't it, though?" Adam retorted, "Because it sure sounds like you're saying reality show artists are second-class citizens in this industry." The tension was suffocating. Kelly's usual charm had vanished, replaced with visible frustration. "Adam, I came from the same place you did. I won American Idol. Why would I ever insult that path?" Adam's tone turned icy. "Maybe because you've been trying to distance yourself from it ever since. Maybe now that you're established, you think you can look down on others who came the same way." Kelly's patience cracked. Instead of de-escalating, she fired back. "Look, Adam, I think you're being way too sensitive about this." The entire studio cringed. The words hung in the air like a bomb. Adam's expression hardened instantly. He leaned back in his chair, voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "Too sensitive." And in that moment, everyone knew the interview had crossed a line there was no coming back from. Asterisk, "Did you just tell me I'm too sensitive?" Adam's voice cut through the silence, low but laced with fire. Kelly's face fell instantly. She knew she'd crossed a line, but the words were already out there, hanging heavy in the air. "I just meant, maybe you're interpreting my questions in a way I didn't intend." Adam lifted his hand, stopping her cold. "No, you don't get to walk that back. You just dismissed my concerns by telling me I'm too sensitive. Do you have any idea how condescending that sounds?" The cameras were still rolling. The panic in the crew's eyes said it all. What was meant to be a cheerful promotional interview had detonated into a scale confrontation on live television. Kelly tried to steady her voice. "Adam, let's just take a breath here. I think we both got a little heated. Maybe we should refocus, talk about your tour, your new music." But Adam wasn't letting go. "Oh, now you want to change the subject, after spending 10 minutes questioning my authenticity and then brushing me off like I'm overreacting. That's rich." "I wasn't questioning your authenticity," Kelly insisted, though her voice wavered. "Really? Adam shot back, sarcasm, dripping, because that's exactly what it sounded like. And apparently, I'm just too sensitive, right? His words sliced through the room like a knife. Kelly's smile was gone now, replaced with visible strain. Adam, I'm trying to have a professional conversation here. Professional? Adam let out a sharp, bitter laugh. You call this professional? Professional would have been asking about my music, my tours, my work with Queen. Professional would have been treating me like the artist I am, instead of forcing me to defend my entire career path. The audience stirred uncomfortably, whispering among themselves. The tension was unbearable. Kelly tried to pivot, desperation creeping into her tone. You know what? You're right. Let's talk about Queen. How has it been working with Brian? And Roger? Adam cut her off, his patience gone. Oh, so now you want to talk about Queen? After implying I'm not a real artist, you think you can just pivot to a safe topic and erase the last 10 minutes? I never said you weren't a real artist, Kelly protested. You didn't have to say it. Adam fired back. It was in every question. Manufactured pop stars. Authenticity. The idea that reality show contestants are somehow less legitimate. And when I challenged you, you told me I was being too sensitive. Kelly's composure was crumbling fast. Adam, I think you're putting words in my mouth. Am I? Adam shot back, gesturing toward the audience. Because I'm pretty. Sure, everyone in this room heard exactly what you said. And guess what? America's hearing it too. The studio fell silent. You could hear the hum of the cameras, the nervous shifting of feet. Kelly tried again, her voice soft, almost pleading. Look, Adam, I respect you. I've always respected you. If I said something that came out wrong, I apologize. But Adam only shook his head. No, Kelly, you don't get to toss out a half-hearted apology and expect me to smile and move on. If you respected me, you wouldn't have spent this entire interview undermining me. That's not what I was trying to do, Kelly insisted, sounding desperate. Then what were you trying to do? Adam challenged, because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you brought me here just to tear me down in front of your audience. Kelly's voice rose a notch. That's ridiculous. Why would I ever do that? Adam didn't blink. I don't know. Kelly, you tell me. Maybe you think it makes you look better. Maybe you want to distance yourself from other American Idol winners. Maybe you think putting me down elevates your own status. The accusation landed hard. Kelly's face went pale. That's completely unfair. Is it? Adam leaned forward. Because that's exactly what this feels like. Instead of celebrating my career, you've made me justify why I even belong in this industry. Kelly's defenses were collapsing. Adam, I never meant for it to come across that way, but it did. Adam cut in firmly. And when I pushed back, you dismissed me. Do you understand how insulting that is? The room was dead quiet, every pair of eyes glued to the unfolding disaster. Kelly's voice trembled now. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Adam, that wasn't my intention. Adam's head snapped up, disbelief etched on his face. If you hurt my feelings, he shook his head. Kelly, this isn't about feelings. You disrespected me, a professional, as a person, there's a difference. And then Kelly made her second fatal mistake. Instead of owning it, she went on the attack. Her voice sharpened. Adam, I think you're being completely unreasonable right now. The words dropped like dynamite. I asked you a few questions about the music industry, and you've blown it into this whole dramatic scene. Kelly's words landed like a spark in dry brush. The expression on Adam's face was unforgettable, eyes narrowing, jaw tightening like a man who had just heard the final straw snap. Unreasonable. That single word was the trigger. You could see the exact instant Adam decided he was finished with this entire charade. His anger froze over into something colder, sharper, unreasonable. He repeated slowly, savoring it like poison on his tongue. So first, I'm too sensitive, and now, I'm unreasonable. Kelly, do you even hear yourself? Kelly's face flickered with regret, but instead of pulling back, she doubled down. Adam, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. These were just casual questions about the industry. Casual questions. Adam's voice rose, his composure cracking. Kelly, you basically called my whole career manufactured. You implied I wasn't authentic. Then when I defended myself, you told me I was being too sensitive and unreasonable. In what universe is that casual? The audience was glued to every word, transfixed by the train wreck unfolding before them. This wasn't daytime fluff anymore. It was raw, live, unfiltered conflict. Kelly bristled. You know what, Adam? Maybe you were being unreasonable. I apologized. I tried to explain, but you keep attacking me. Attacking you. Adam barked out a bitter laugh. Kelly, I'm defending myself from your attacks. There's a difference, though. I can see why you'd be confused about that. My attacks, Adam, I ask questions. That's literally my job as a talk show host. No, Adam shot back, eyes blazing. Your job is to make your guests feel welcome, not to ambush them with loaded questions designed to tear them down. Kelly's mask of professionalism was crumbling. I didn't ambush you. You're the one who turned this into a confrontation. I turned this into a confrontation. Adam's voice was incredulous. You started this by questioning whether artists from reality shows are authentic. You brought up manufactured pop stars while interviewing someone who came from American Idol. How exactly did you think I was going to respond? I thought you'd have a mature, professional conversation about it, Kelly said, her tone dripping with condescension. Was it? Adam pushed back his chair so violently it screeched across the studio floor. The audience gasped. Mature and professional. His voice boomed through the set. Mature and professional would have been asking about my tours, my music, my work. It would have been showing me respect, not tearing me down on live television. Kelly, visibly shaken, tried to regain control. Adam, please, sit down. Let's finish this interview. Adam laughed again, but it was harsh and joyless. Finish, Kelly. This interview ended the moment you chose disrespect. I'm not going to sit here and let you belittle me for entertainment. I'm not belittling you, Kelly said weakly. Aren't you? Adam leaned forward, his voice cutting like glass. You questioned my authenticity. You dismissed me as sensitive. You labeled me unreasonable, and now, you're talking to me like I'm a child who needs to sit quietly. How is that not belittling? Panic rippled through the production crew. From the sidelines, staff waved, frantically, unsure whether to cut to commercial or let the fireworks burn on. Adam, Kelly pleaded, you're a guest on my show. The least you could do is show some respect. That was the coffin lid slamming shut. Adam's expression hardened to stone. Respect, his voice dropped to a chilling calm. Respect is earned. Kelly, it's mutual. You don't get to disrespect me for 20 minutes and then demand it in return. I haven't disrespected you, Kelly insisted, though her voice betrayed doubt. Haven't you? Adam's tone was merciless. Let's recap. You questioned whether I was authentic. You implied my career was manufactured. You brushed me off as sensitive. You called me unreasonable. And now, you're demanding respect. That about sum it up. Kelly looked cornered, desperate. Adam, please, can we just start over? Adam shook his head slowly. Kelly, there's no starting over. You've shown me who you are, what you really think about artists like me. And I'm not going to pretend this didn't happen just to make you feel better. The silence in the studio was suffocating. The audience barely breathed. No one had ever seen a guest dismantle a host like this live, unfiltered, and final. Adam, think about what you're doing. This is live television, Kelly urged. I know exactly what I'm doing. Adam said firmly, I'm standing up for myself. Something you never expected me to do. And yes, I know this is live television. Asterisk, that means America gets to see exactly how you treat your guests when you think no one will hold you accountable. That's not fair, Kelly said, her eyes brimming with tears. Fair. Adam's voice cut like glass. You want to talk about fair? Was it fair when you invited me here just to question my legitimacy as an artist? Was it fair when you brushed off my concerns as me being too sensitive? Was it fair when you called me unreasonable for defending myself? Kelly had no answer. She sat frozen, shoulders slumped, looking utterly defeated while Adam loomed over her, his fury tightly controlled but undeniable. I didn't think so, he said quietly. You know what, Kelly, I've had enough. I came here to talk about my music, my tour, my work, not to be psychoanalyzed and torn apart by someone who, of all people, should understand how brutal this industry can be. He reached for his microphone, and the sharp click of the clasp echoed through the studio like a gunshot. The silence was deafening. A simple act, but its weight was undeniable. This wasn't an awkward moment anymore. It was a collapse of professional trust unfolding live, right in front of millions. Double quotes. Adam, please don't do this, Kelly whispered, her voice breaking. Adam glanced down at her. For a flicker of a moment, his expression softened, but then he shook his head firmly. No, Kelly, you did this. With your questions, your insinuations, your complete lack of respect. I'm just choosing not to sit here and take it anymore. If you walk out, it'll look terrible for both of us, Kelly begged. Adam's laugh was short, bitter. No, it'll look terrible for you. I'm the one who is ambushed, disrespected, and dismissed. All I'm doing is refusing to play the punching bag. The audience sat spellbound. Some had their phones raised, capturing every second. Others just gaped in disbelief, stunned that they were watching daytime TV history in the making. Adam, I'm begging you. Please, sit down. Let me fix this, Kelly pleaded, her voice trembling. You had 20 minutes to fix this. Adam shot back. Every chance you got, you made it worse. You called me sensitive. You called me unreasonable. You demanded respect while giving me none. You escalated at every turn. Tears streamed openly down Kelly's face. Now I made mistakes, she admitted. I'm human. Can't you give me a chance to make this right? The time to make it right, Adam said, his voice low and steady, was before you questioned my authenticity on live television. Before you dismissed my concerns, before you forced me to defend my entire career against your cheap digs. The crew scrambled in the background, people rushing, whispering, gesturing frantically. No one seemed to know whether to cut to commercial or let the chaos run. Adam straightened his jacket. then turned toward the cameras. His words were calm, deliberate, edged with steel. To everyone watching at home, I came here excited to talk. About my music, about my tour, about the work I pour my life into. I didn't come here to have my career mocked or my authenticity questioned, and I will never apologize for standing up for myself. Kelly was sobbing openly now, breaking under the weight of her own miscalculation. Adam, please don't do this to me. Adam turned back to her with an almost pitying look. Kelly, I'm not doing this to you. This is the consequence of your choices. You dismissed me. You disrespected me. You escalated this, and now you're facing the fallout. I'm sorry, she whispered. I believe you are, Adam replied, but sorry doesn't erase the damage. Sorry doesn't take back the things you implied about my career. Sorry doesn't erase the fact that you told a successful artist he was too sensitive for defending himself. And with that, Adam Lambert began walking toward the exit. The cameras followed, capturing every step of his departure. The audience sat in absolute silence, their eyes fixed on him, knowing they were witnessing a moment that would be replayed for years. Adam, wait. Kelly cried out one last time. He stopped at the edge of the stage, turned, and faced her. His voice was steady, resolute. Kelly, I've spent my career proving I belong here. I've worked tirelessly for the respect of my peers and my fans. I will not let you or anyone undo that work with loaded questions and condescension. Maybe you didn't mean it that way, but intentions don't matter when the impact is this destructive. You disrespected me today. You hurt me in front of millions, and instead of fixing it, you doubled down. The silence that followed was suffocating. No guest had ever done this before stood up, refused to play along, and walked out. Adam let his eyes sweep the room one last time, his gaze resting on Kelly. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you remember that your guests are human beings, not props. They deserve dignity. They deserve respect. And with that, Adam Lambert walked off the Kelly Clarkson show. Kelly sat slumped in her chair, tears streaming down her face. The audience buzzing in shock. The production team scrambling to salvage the wreckage. Across America, millions of viewers had just witnessed the implosion of what was supposed to be a lighthearted promotional interview. It wasn't a meltdown. It wasn't a diva tantrum. It was something bigger. A raw, uncompromising stand against disrespect, broadcast live for the world to see. Adam Lambert had drawn the line and walked away.